Form validation on credit card. In this tutorial you will learn how to validate a credit card. You will learn how to build Spring Web application that involve form validation, how to specify validation rules on the class that is to be validated, how to specify that validation should be performed in the controller method, and then modify the form views to display validation errors. This is what we will learn in this tutorial. This is the form that we will use to register a card, but before registering the card must be valid. If the card is not valid, it will not be submitted. So here is the form. We have credit card number and credit card expiration, credit card CVV. This CVV is also known as credit card identification number, but the meaning of this CVV is credit card verification value. It is also called CVC, which is credit card verification code. So let's check and have some wrong credit card number. This expiration, let me set to something like this and check. So we have error, please fix the following errors. Not a valid credit card, must be formatted to month and year. So we doesn't have error here, but let me add number like this, which is more than 3, because the credit card verification value should be less than 3. So let's submit this and check. Okay, we have invalid CVV. So let's build this together. Okay, now let's create a new Spring Boot project. Let's go to create. Here we have Spring Starter project. Next, now it is connecting us to the spring.io. So here is the new Spring Boot Starter project we will create. This is the previous project tutorial that we do on password and email validation and other field. So we have to change this. If you want this tutorial, you will check on my channel, so and have this. So let's change the name to credit card validation, credit card validation. So this name is okay, and this will be credit card. In the description we need credit card credential validation tutorial, and this will also change to credit card, this group credit card validation, and the package remain as coding techniques. If you want, you will change it to what you want. So this is what we have. Name credit card validation. Type, we will use Maven in this tutorial, Java version 11, and then this is the group and artifact. So let's click next and add the dependency for this project. So here are the dependency. The first thing we need here is that we need Spring Starter Web, then we need a theme leaf, okay, to theme leaf template for the HTML Spring Web. Then we need this validation. We will use this validation because it consists of all the annotation and the classes that have default implementation for validation. So the last thing, I need Spring Boot dev tool so that I cannot be rerunning the program. So when we save the program, the program is okay, so we don't need to rerun the program. So these are the 4 dependency I have added to this project, and the next thing to do is click finish. Here is our project. Let's check and run the project to see if it is working correctly. Here is the starter class. Okay, here is the starter class. Now let's run the starter class. Run as here Spring Boot app. Okay, the application is starting now. So here is the application started. Okay, so our application is working fine. Now is the next thing we will do is to create card class, where we will have the validation rules on the class. We will create now a package of name model. So now let's create a package model. So in this package we will create a class, new class. So we will name this class credit card. Okay, here is the name of the class. Then let's click finish. So here is our class. Now it is rerunning the program because we create a new class. This is Spring Dev tool in action. So now let's have field and the validation rules in this class. The first thing we will do is to add a string, private string. In this case it's credit card number. So credit card number. So you see the naming convention, credit card and then number. Okay, so let's add another private string again, and in this case it is the expiration, credit card expiration, credit card expiration. Okay, so and the last one is that we need private string credit card CVV, private string credit card CVV. This is the number at the back of the credit card. It is called something like CVV. It is also called CVC like this. It is also called CIN. Okay, these are the names. This is just a comment to explain on this CVV. Here it is called credit card verification value, and in this case credit card in this case credit verification code, credit card verification code, and in the last one is credit card identification number. Okay, so now let's have the validation rule step by step. And in this class we don't need ID, which is the primary ID, because we are not submitting these to database. We are just checking for the validation rules. And if you want in the case to submit something like this to database, I have tutorials on user registration and also use custom registration and login. So let's start this by starting on the credit card number. So at this case we have annotation called credit card number. So this annotation, we will have a message. This annotation will check the card number if it is valid credit number. So, and if it is not valid, we will have a message, and the message will be not a valid credit card, not a valid credit card. Okay, this is the message that we will have, and this annotation will check the validity of the credit card. So the next thing here is expiration. In the case of expiration, we need an annotation which call pattern. Let's call it pattern. Sorry, pattern, like this annotation, and we will also pass something inside this annotation. So, and what will be is what we will pass inside it will be a regex. So the regex is a regular expiration pattern that define the format for the input. So but here is our regex here, which is the pattern for the month and the year, so that we will have a valid. Okay, so before then we need, let's paste this. So this is the pattern of our month and year. Okay, so let's check this step by step. In this case we have this. Okay, we have this part of the pattern matches the month. It allows 2-digit number between 0 and 12. In this case we have here 12. It allow number from 0 and 12. It uses a regex alteration, okay, to match either 0 from 0 like this for month to 09 like this. Okay, so this part, we also have this part of annotation. This pattern matches the separator between the month and year. It uses square bracket to create character class. Okay, so and then we also have this. Okay, and this one is the pattern that matches the year. It allows the 2-digit number between 10 to 99. Okay, here we have 1 and 0, which is 10, and here we have 9 and 9, 10 to 99. Okay, it matches any digit from 1 to 9, and then followed by any digit from 0 to 9, and the last symbol we have here indicate the end of the input string. So here is for the month, and here is what we have in between, and then the last one here is a year. Okay, so now let's add the credit card CVV here, and in this case the annotation we will use is a digit. Okay, a digit. Okay, so and we will pass the maximum number we want here. We need integer, which is 3. The maximum number of CVV in character is 3, so 3. And in this number we doesn't need fraction, so there is no fraction which is decimal in CVV. So fraction 0. So and the last one is the message. If we doesn't have anything that match this, we need a message, and the message will be invalid CVV. So this is what we need so far. This is what we have here. So now let's create a getters and setters for the both for these fields, all the fields, the 3 fields that we have: credit card number, credit card expiration, and credit card CVV. So let's go to sources, generate getter, select all. So okay, this is what we have here. Okay, and then let's have a default constructor. Even that, without defining the default constructor, we already have default constructor with no parameter, but in this case I will define it because sometimes it will not access the class. So supposed to be credit card, it will not access the class without the constructor having issue like this. So if you have it, you have to define this, but if you don't have it, then it is okay. So this is all we need for the definition of this class. The next thing is that we have to define controller that will handle the request and then implement the error handling in the controller. Okay, here now we need a package for our controller and then define a class inside the package. So let's create package called controller. Okay, and in this package let's create a new class. The class will be credit card controller, credit card controller. Okay, then let's click finish. So here is our class. Let's annotate the class with add controller. Okay, so the next thing we will do is to have two methods, get mapping and post mapping, for the registration. So because we will going to register the credit card, now let's have a part of registration. Okay, if we have this part, and then we need a method called public string, then get registration page like this. So this method will return the page called register. We will create this page when we come to the front end, which is theme leaf. So we have this method and the remaining post mapping. So the post mapping will also have this. Okay, so and we need a method as well that will execute after calling this. So public string, which is save cat. You will name the method clear name that you will understand. So I name it save cat. You will name it whatever you like, but make sure it is clear. So, and this will return a success page. We will also create this HTML page success, but we need some validation here. Before it returns success, there are a certain condition that will pass through before it return the success page. So now let's add the validation here. First we need add valid, so followed by the model class name. The model class name is credit card. Credit card here is the class, and then followed by the credit card as well, the variable. So I need a not model. There is interface errors, which we will use this interface to check for the error. So let's have the validation here, which will check if we have an error on this class. Okay, we will use this variable errors dot has error. So by using this, we will check to see if we has any error, and then if we have error, then it will return the page. It will not return the success page. Which page that it will return is the register. So it will return the register. It will not return the success page. But if it doesn't have any error, it will return success page. So this is the backend implementation of our credit card project. The next thing we will do is to do the front end, which is to create a register page, registration page, and the success page. So now let's go next. So now we will start the front end of the credit card. So here in the template, let's create new HTML file. The first HTML file is register. So we will not create this register page ourselves. It is so much waste of time. We will have ChatGPT create this for us. I have already asked question and give it the color of the form that I want. So here is the question: generate me a HTML and CSS registration page with this color. So let's copy this and check what it generated. So here is the color in hexadecimal, and if you want to generate as well, here are some colors. If you want, you will generate with these colors. Okay, so in this case I have generated it using this. And if you have no access to the ChatGPT, you can check in the description of this. I have a repository, so you can check the repository and you will have the project, which is called the user registration. So I have this HTML with it in the user registration. If you check and the template, which is in the template, you will find the HTML. So let me copy this and then have it here. So this is what we have. Okay, now the next thing we will do is to check this in the since that we have the registration, it will return a register. But before then, let's go back to the controller class. Okay, in this controller class, let me comment this and then let it return this for now to see our page. It will return this register. So now let's go to localhost 8080. This is our port for the project. So here is the HTML that we have just generated. So we need to do some modification. Okay, now let's start to modify this. Let's go back to the template in the register. First we will separate the styles. Okay, let's separate the style and have in this static, let's create a new folder, CSS. So in this folder, let's create new CSS file and let's call it style like this. Okay, and in this case we will paste this, so we change it to this. So now if you check this, we will have no CSS. So let's refresh this. Okay, let's go back to our project and check what is happening. Okay, now that we save, let's go back to the refresh. So you see we have no CSS, so we have to link it, and in the header we will use the link. We will use the link here, so it is not responding. Okay, so first we need a rel which is equal to style sheet, and then the next thing is href equal to, we will have the path for this, which is css and then style.css. This is the part, and then we forgot to add the attribute for the team leaf to find this. This is the attribute, and we will pass this inside this attribute. So now let's check if we have this back. Let's refresh. Okay, we have it back, and here is another consideration. This we have input field, it passing. Okay, it have to step back a little, so let's check here. So here is the container 400 pixel, and we have this 100% of the 400 pixel. So okay, that's why we are having this. Okay, so let's adjust it a little, since that it is, let's keep this at 385 pixel. Okay, if we save this and then refresh, so we have it normal like this. So the next thing, we will have the credit card number, CV, and all these things. So let's go back to our register. So before we go to changing this implementation, first let's have our form will have a post mapping. Let's check it. Our form will have a post mapping, so let's delete this. So we will have this post method post, and the role will be form. Okay, so we have role form, and then we also need th action, which is something like this at registration. So we also need a model attribute in our controller, in which we will pass it to the credit card. So before then, let me have the th object equal to, we will pass credit card here. So we need this, then let's pass credit card. Okay, we will copy this to the attribute that we will create. So let's go back to the controller. First, and the get mapping, we need a model attribute. So we pass this to the model attribute, and then a class credit card with this variable. So this is all what we need here. So let's go back to our register and continue. So we have this. So the next thing is that the general arrow, if we have even a single arrow, we need a general arrow that will set the please fix the following errors and resubmit the form. So we need a span here, okay, and this span we will have a method th if the method will be has arrow. So let's check. First we need hash, and then followed by field. Okay, then we need has arrows, which is the method has arrows. So there is implementation of this method that will pass parameter here within a single quotation, but this is just check for any arrow without the specifying on which field that we have arrow. If field has arrow, it will return this. So, and then let's style this to give it red style, and the color to red. Okay, so we will have the message within this. The message will be please fix the following error, and resubmit the form. Submit the form. So I have to correct this. We have spelling errors. So this is what we have. It will check th if field that has errors. So if it has error, it will work. So we will work on this also, but let's have this as the name is credit card number, the credit card number. So make sure the name matches what you have in the model class where we define the rules. So, and then this will be credit card number. So we have space because this is just a placeholder that will display inside the field. So we need to duplicate this, but in this case we already have custom messages. We don't need message here. And if we have error for this field, then let's pass credit card number here. So, and then we also need another field, another attribute, which is th errors. So need th, then let me widen the screen so that you will see th errors. So, and we need equal to here. So, and in this case it will be star, then 2 curly bracket, and we will have pass this credit card number. So in this case we finish with the credit card number, then let's go to next. Okay, let's copy this and add it to. So to avoid some errors, let's just copy the real what we have here, credit card expiration, and then pass it here, credit card expiration, and then at the same time we need credit card expiration here. So the name also is credit card expiration, and we will change this to text as well as the last one to text. So let me recopy this and also have for this field. So we will change this to the credit card expiration. So let's check this as well. For the CVV, let's copy the CVV as well, then go to the register. So here first we change the name, credit card CVV, and then after changing the name we also need to change the errors, which will check for the errors. This is the method, and we pass the parameter of the field that we want it to check the error if we have this error on, if we have any error on this field. So the last thing is to change this credit card CVV. So let's go back to the controller and enable our error checker. So we remove this, and we need our success page now. Success page. Now let's create a success page. It is just a simple HTML page. The name will match the name that it will return. Success. So success page. So it will return this page if it is success page. Let's change this to success, and then inside this body we need a h1 element which will be written success like this. We need C here. Okay, let's check if we have our implementation correctly. First we have all these fields that has arrow to the general error message. followed by the credit card number. So this is okay, credit card number. We also have credit card expiration. So let's check. Let's rerun the project and check what we have so far. So the project is starting. So now let's check, let's refresh. So we have all these: credit card number, credit card expiration, and credit card CVV. Now let's try to add something which is against the rule. Let's add something against the rule to see if we have the error message. So we have the error message, but in this case we have not a valid credit card, invalid CVV. This is where we have an error. So let's check what is happening there. Credit card, not a controller, a model. So we just added this, but we did not pass the message. So this is why we are having, let me copy the message. So but in this case the message will be okay, okay, so let's have the English like this. It will, oh, so I am thinking of the message that we will have a, okay, it must match the mm/yy. It must match the mmyy. So you can have the message whatever on your mind. If you think it is better, so you can add it. So now let's recheck our form. So you see the change take effect even. So let me have the, okay, here is the message, but let's correct this to be in a middle. So in this case, let's go back to the CSS. First, our button is floating, and we will set this to block, display to block. Okay, we finish with this, and then the next thing we will do is to let's check this. Okay, we will check where we have some padding around. Okay, this is where we have margin bottom up to 15 pixel and 10 padding. So let's change this to margin top. Let's share this 10 pixel, and then let's have 5 here. So I think this is better, and we will get rid of this padding, but before then let's check if it is Now I will refresh and it will use our value that we have already inserted. Continue. So now it is better. This is how we have. In this case, you will have to provide your valid credit card to check if it is working. So credit card expiration, we have an error, but if we have a valid, it will pass. But credit card is not something to have here and to showcase as an example. So this is our last section on this, and I hope you will subscribe our channel for more videos. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.